Welcome to Talking Bristol. And this evening we have a special guest from a special business in town. And I will get to her in a moment. I wanted to acknowledge Ventanas, who is sponsoring our program this evening. And I am Dave Fortier. So getting to our guests, we have with us tonight Whitney Wilfred from Wheeler Clinic. And it's a thrill to have you here, Whitney. I'm just so excited to talk to you tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, Dave.
And I think part of our conversation is going to be educational because I have to learn a little bit about your job title.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope we learn a little bit about Wheeler too, and then the connection with Bristol and some of the, specifically some of the health needs, how you recognize those and how, and what services you offer. And so when I say I'm excited, it's like anything I can learn about what Bristol has to offer. And I consider Wheeler's now part of the Bristol family.
Absolutely.
And so, so first of all, you are an integrated care specialist supervisor.
Yes,
I am. Did I brutalize that?
Yeah. I'm a clinical supervisor, but if you look online, it's an integrated care supervisor. Okay. Yes.
All right. So first of all, you're a clinical supervisor.
Yes. Let's go with that.
All right. So clinical, does that mean your job is in a clinic?
So I am a licensed clinical social worker. My job is specifically clinical because I oversee the clinicians that give care to across the lifespan. So meaning that from children up into our senior ages, I supervise clinicians that are offering behavioral health care services within the clinic.
So the clinicians all have specialties.
No, they do not. No. Sometimes we do have a few clinicians that do have specialties. So as a supervisor, one of the things that I always like to say is that I'm called to be a therapist first. I'm a therapist first. But in some of my practice and over time, I get the opportunity to give education to other clinicians as well as supervise their caseloads that they have. And so oftentimes what I think is really cool about Wheeler is that we're very giving and we're very welcoming to interns working within maybe the public health field, the social work field, whether they are licensed, becoming MFTs, being marriage family therapists, because there's so many different counseling avenues you can come from. And so we have a wide variety of interns that are able to kind of be with us. And sometimes those turn into jobs and they end up finding what their expertise is over time. And so I would also say that that's how I grew up in Wheeler.
That's right. So, yes. And we'll get to Wheeler because Wheeler as a business model, as a not-for-profit, as is supposed to be a pretty good place to work.
Yeah, I think so.
Over the years, it's won its number of awards and it's been recognized as an excellent workplace.
Yeah.
So I'd like to learn a little bit about what makes a good workplace these days. But we'll get there. I'll do that, and you remind me if I don't get to it.
Absolutely, Dave.
So part of this is so are your clinicians social workers?
No, they are not.
They're not. Okay. So where do you draw the line?
So I don't necessarily think that we draw a line. I think that we're open to those who are licensed LPCs.
So LPC is?
Yep.
License.
So some of them are mental health counselors. And so it really depends on the avenue that they've chosen to go when they go to their master's level of education. We do have a number of social workers though. And sometimes that becomes the education can be a little different in very mild differences, but it is different, as well as sometimes the insurances that we're able to take too. And so that's kind of where I won't say a line is drawn in terms of hiring, but a line is drawn in terms of what clients can be taken on with certain clinicians.
I would get that. Yeah. That has to be depending on what people's needs are.
Absolutely.
And how that works out. I just, my daughter's a social worker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She's pretty terrific.
Yeah.
And it's good work, but it is frontline work. So you're dealing with people.
Yeah.
And people have all sorts of issues that come into it, and you got to love them, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And then you have to work with them. So, at Wheeler, you work with health services.
Yes.
So, what before we get to what you see in Bristol.
Mhm.
How do you talk about health services? I mean, in our society right now, we hear a lot about young people have lots of mental health issues.
Yeah.
There's anxiety issues,
Mhm.
and I'm sure you see a number of these issues. But what do you see as the role of a place like Wheeler?
Yeah. So I know that you covered a bit that Wheeler is a nonprofit community mental health agency. And the role of Wheeler is strategically placed in communities. I know that we're talking about Bristol, but I also want to highlight that
Mhm.
Wheeler is in Hartford. Wheeler is in Waterbury. It's also in Plainville, and it is in Bristol. We've existed in Bristol for quite some time,
Mhm.
but I would say that we have come out of the shadows like Batman,
So
okay?
it's been Bristol's well-kept secret.
Yes, because we were existing in 225 North Main Street and no one knew we were really there. But now that we are more frontline on 1 Hope Street in Bristol, we are a lot more visible. And I think that that has really kind of changed the game. And
Mhm.
because we are providing integrated care services, which means that we are providing primary care services, behavioral health services, we are providing psychiatric and medication management
Mhm.
services, and that is not limited to the building in the clinic, but we also provide that same service and on mobilely. And so what happens is that primary care services, we go out for, it's called mobile health, and we go to Agape House on Wednesdays
Mhm.
at 9 o'clock.
And this is primary care.
Yes, this is
Because when I
primary
think of primary
care.
care, I think of my primary care physician.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
pick up on that and kind of
absolutely.
play on that. So you provide those
Mhm.
services.
We provide those services. And I think, to me, when you ask like what is Wheeler's role, and I think the Wheeler's role is meeting the human exactly where they are. Right. And so sometimes we're not having people that feel comfortable coming inside of a building. And sometimes when we think about accessibility and equitable care, it's really about getting to the client
Mhm.
exactly where they are. And so where they're not ready to come into a clinic, sometimes we can only get them in the medical space, in that primary care space, and that may introduce them to something else that they may need,
Mhm.
which makes the service integrated.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense. So I'm thinking of a distinction between, say, a Wheeler and a Bristol Health,
Mhm.
which is a hospital
Yeah,
where people would have to make that effort to go there.
absolutely.
And so you'll meet people where they are.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And again, primary health, and then there's mental health issues, and
Mhm.
there's other issues along
Mhm.
those lines.
Mhm.
So in your position,
Mhm.
all right, as a supervisor,
Yes.
so what do you do? Do you have so you're not providing therapy per se, oh, you are.
I
So
actually do.
you actually do.
I do.
So that's part of it. So you do. You're an
Yeah.
all service clinician.
Yes. So Dave, before you ask the question, I also talk with my hands. So you're gonna
Oh,
see a lot
just
of this
that's
from me
great.
today.
Yes.
You asked like if any clinicians have like a niche. And so I would say, growing up in Wheeler as a therapist, as a clinical social worker, this is also the place where I received my licensure.
And you
Um,
started in.
I started as a case manager in Wheeler, serving in their extended day treatment program in Plainville, Connecticut. And so that's kind of like
Yeah,
like where
yeah.
we started,
The
you know?
mothership. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Right.
So we started there, and that's also where Northwest Village School is. And so we have that EDT, and which is it's also kind of like models. It's not PHP because it's not in a hospital, which
Okay.
is
When you use
partial. Got
yeah,
you.
you got to tell us. You got
I
to break
got you.
those down. Yeah.
So PHP is partial hospitalization program.
Uh
And
huh.
so we're not in a hospital or anything like that. But extended day it happens 4 to 5 days a week. When I was working there, it was happening 4 days a week. Transportation was provided depending on the catchment area. Like if you were living in Southington, close by in Plainville, transportation was also provided to you to and from. And services were offered to the child, but also weekly services to the family as well. And so that's why I started as a case manager. And that program still exists to this day. And so when we think about kind of what my role is now as a clinical supervisor, I do have a niche. Over time, I found that I wanted to work primarily with clients that were struggling with trauma. And I grew to understand that because I had been working in community mental health and doing in-home with a program called Building Stronger Families, where you would have the identified patient as the mom or the dad, and they were trying to keep their children in the home, but struggling with addiction. And so I found that over time, it wasn't just children that I wanted to work with, but it was really the whole family that I wanted to work with. And I understood that a lot of times there was trauma or some type of significant event that was happening, whether it be their upbringing, the things that were underlying issues that weren't addressed. And I really wanted to help them through that because I knew that very well in my own life.
Well, that's good work, and it's difficult work, and it's
Yeah.
so would you consider it like a family systems kind of therapy? You're familiar with that kind of training?
Okay, Dave.
Bowen theory?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, like that family systems work that yeah, that's more like an MFT thing. But yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
I know families, I don't know, what is it? Tolstoy said, the Russian novelist. I don't know if it was Tolstoy or someone else, but he said that, all happy families are the same, but all other families are, there's something.
Yeah.
It's got families under their thumb.
Yeah. I think it was like I want to say that when I was doing a training a while ago there, I was introduced to a guy, Gaber. I could be butchering his name right now. Gaber Mate, and Gaber, Gabor Mate, Mate, and he said something. There's a documentary called Uprooting Addiction that's based in Connecticut, and it really kind of travels through the use of EMDR, which is I am an EMDR therapist. It stands for eye movement desensitization reprocessing.
Yeah.
And so that's my niche at Wheeler.
That's what yours. Okay. All right. Yeah. Because I wanted to ask you about cognitive behavioral therapy too. We're getting kind of nerdy. I apologize, but it's kind of fun. I mean, all things, psychology and family systems, it's, it is the core of life. Yeah, it is. So you started, you weren't an intern did you start as an intern at Wheeler?
No, I didn't. I started as a case manager in EDT, and then I got my degree from Springfield College. And I was an intern with Wheeler. I interned in their children's outpatient in Plainville. That's what I did.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
All right. So you progressed through.
Yep. And from there, I went to the program Building Stronger Families, again, where I would be working with DCF as a stakeholder, and they would be the goal was to keep the children in the home. And so the caregiver was really struggling with addiction. And so that introduced me to more intensive work as well. And so I was used to kind of being with families for 9 months, a year.
So they're long-term commitments.
Seeing them three times a week, appointments, meeting the whole family. And I was working predominantly in Hartford.
So you find, you're doing the work, you must find some hope in it. It's good work. And what would you consider a success to be?
Oh man. Okay. I think before we started, I was telling you about a leadership development program that I was able to be a part of. And I got to talk about a very, I would say, a generational story. So as a case manager, I was working, I love the kids. And so Whit loves the kids. And I was working with a client's daughter. And he remembered me from working with his daughter. And I want to say I started working in Bristol in 2021. He comes through the door and he was like, oh, this was fate. Like this was time. And then I started working with her dad. And a success story is that at that time when I met him, he was transferred over to me. He was ready to do some trauma work, really kind of ready to address some of the root issues of what was bringing him to his long-term use. When I met him, and some of the things that he was struggling with was some what was alcoholism. And at that time, he had dibbled and dabbled with other things. I want to say that today, he is still 5 years clean. We
Wow.
are in a maintenance phase of therapy where he kind of just, he comes to check in. He's still going to those meetings. His language has changed,
Mhm.
the way that he has a deeper spiritual life. He has a better relationship with his children. I get to watch him raise other children right now. He
Mhm.
chairs meetings. He is a success. And I've had the ability to see that in a lot of different families. But just as where I've seen success, I've also, because when you're working primarily in addiction and trauma, you see quite a few deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. So that's good. So how is it that and maybe you can correct me that that healthcare or people who seek mental health care
Mhm.
are perceived as in a negative light as opposed
Mm,
to more of a positive light? I would think if someone's making an attempt to change their life and they reach out, that would be a positive thing.
absolutely.
But is there a stigma you think in society, not just in Bristol? I guess we can branch out and say in American society, which kind of looks askance at this. So what's your experience with that?
I think that it would be a large thing for me to speak about America at large.
Hmm.
But if I could bring it down a little
Yeah.
bit, I would say that what I've seen within the mental health field is that we are tolerable to things that we understand, like depression,
Hmm.
anxiety,
Hmm.
right? I think that we have um, more stigmas around things like what we don't understand, like whether it be a personality disorder or schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. And I would say that there are far more people that are struggling with mood instabilities that look like that than we know. And I think that I think that mental health is not a niche thing, it's a human thing. I think we all have,
Hmm.
right? And mental illness and mental health is two different things,
Hmm.
right? And so I think that when you ask me that, it's more about the mental illness, right? But the mental health is a human thing. It's something that we all want to ensure that we're all in a good space to make sure that we are equipped and doing the things to keep ourselves at a baseline,
Hmm.
right? Or doing better, or that we're kind of like giving from overflow and not just from having like a full cup, but an overflow.
Oh yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, I like that image.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good image.
Mhm.
So Wheeler is it's got the new building. It looks great
Right.
downtown.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's beautiful.
We busting out of that building now. Yeah.
Is that true? Yeah.
Yeah.
So much
It's
to do. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. So that's a positive.
Mhm.
That's a big positive. And I think by virtue of the fact that it's here in Bristol, maybe Bristol's recognizing that there's something to mental health rather than
Mhm.
mental illness, and people are
Mhm.
taking that effort. And you say people are there. So if somebody wants to, reach out, what do they do? I mean, you're not
Mhm.
going to show up at their house with a mobile van.
That's
So if somebody
yeah.
recognizes there's an issue,
Mhm.
and so what would be a constructive step for someone to do?
Okay. So I think that a lot of times that one of the things I would say is that we have our navigation line. And that is something that anybody can give a call. And that's a direct line to being able to say that I am in need of help and you are able to get a next step. However, if you don't want to call, I think the best thing to do is to enter into one of our clinics. We always have walk-in services from 9 to 3 o'clock, Monday through Friday.
Mhm.
And I think what Wheeler has done, and which is why I believe that Wheeler Health has been a phenomenal representative of what it means to be innovative in the mental health field, because we also have the BAT team. And I would tell you what that acronym stands for, but it leaves me. The BAT team came from one of the grants, and it was one of the best things that I
It's
believe.
BAT.
Yeah, BHAT.
Oh, BHAT. Okay.
Right. And
Okay.
so because of that, we have a team that is specialized just for intakes. So what that means is that the wait time is reduced, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so where people were scheduled and things like that, that's no longer happening. We're having a team, whether that be happening virtual for you or it's happening for you in person. But I believe that intakes are happening at a rapid pace, and it's been making us a lot more accessible to meet the person's need in the moment, so that people are not discouraged and leaving through the door saying that this is taking too long.
It's true. I mean,
and that
somebody wants help
helps.
and they're going to come and they're going to reach out and and then all of a sudden, if they don't get some kind of immediate connection, I
Yeah.
mean, the chances are they may decide
Yeah.
that this, it's not for them. Yeah.
And I think there's been this as far as like how do they reach it? So the access our navigation line, but as well as going into a clinic. But I think another thing is not just the behavioral health portion that you can find accessibility, but is if you come in with a primary care service need, and then you also can be triaged to behavioral health as well. And so I believe that there's many avenues, and also with the mobile health.
Yeah. And it does take some personal initiative, but you've got to recognize there's an issue there. And sometimes you shouldn't diagnose yourself, I would guess. You shouldn't let a professional do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Along those lines, what kind of place is Wheeler to work?
I love working at Wheeler.
They've won lots of awards.
Yes, they have.
They have as an excellent workplace. So
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah. I enjoy working at Wheeler. I enjoy working at Wheeler because one is a very diverse team. And to be candid, I've come and gone from Wheeler a couple of different times. So I feel like I'm a great
Okay.
person to say that I have been at other spaces and I've always come back to Wheeler.
Okay.
And I've come back to Wheeler because what I learned about me is that diversity and working with marginalized populations is really important to me. And I need to be in a space where I can reach the community. And so I do feel like Wheeler is for humans, is for people, is about breaking barriers and really kind of hearing from our clients to be able to address the gap that they're experiencing. And so when I see Wheeler doing that for clients, they also do it for us too. And so one of the things that I've loved about Wheeler is that they also take staff appreciation very seriously. And so I feel valued as a worker. I feel seen as a worker. And to me, right now, with our president, Sabrina, I think that she also has done a phenomenal job at ensuring that we all have a voice. I remember it being times where you didn't necessarily know if change was going to happen, but I believe that the change that we have advocated for or have I have expressed needing in an email, but she's shown up and she's made us feel heard. And then we also see that change happening.
And there's been an active solicitation
Absolutely.
of input and input, how people are doing.
Yeah.
So there's some give and take there. And I
It
think that
is.
makes for a very healthy.
It is. It's a
Healthy
very
side.
vulnerable relationship that she's cultivated with people over time. And I think that Wheeler has taken that charge and taken that leadership. And we see that throughout our clinic spaces.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think part of me is that we're just beginning this conversation. So we are going to wind up.
Okay.
We're going to wind up now. But I want to thank you very much for coming on. Again, we'll be right back with another special guest. And this is breaking news to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but for your participation, I am very grateful.
Yeah.
I thought it's terrific that you could take time to come out and meet with us like this and to kind of join our audience. So now they have a better idea
Absolutely.
of what is going on over at Wheeler.
And
I know there's lots of acronyms and I know there's lots of things like that, but they should come see you.
Yeah.
They should and find out more about what's happening there. So once again, this is Dave Fortier with Whitney Wilfred from Wheeler Clinic.
Yeah.
And I'm with Talking Bristol, and we are going to take a break before we come back on with another special guest. So thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
You're welcome. This is David Fortier, and I'm back for a special edition, special interview that I'm just finding out about myself. So this is going to be as fresh and new for you as it is for me. But I'm here with David Harris, and he's got to tell me why he's here. So, David, why are you here?
Well, David, I'm David, and I'm here.
Pull that right to you. Is that good? All right, go ahead.
Like I was saying, Dave, I'm here because I want to talk about training and piggyback off of what Whitney was talking about mental health, about how you can change your body and your physique and actually cure some of your mental health, I would say, too.
All right, so
mental health issues, I would say, or problems.
So you are representing yourself, or you're representing your business?
Yes, I'm representing myself as Coach Dave, and my business is Top 1% Training.
And are you located here in Bristol?
Yes, I am. Yep.
Bristol, how long have you been here?
I've been here about 4 or 5 years now. Yeah,
4 or 5 years, and it's called Top
1% Training.
Top 1% Training.
Yes.
And so, who are most of the people that you've attracted? Who do you work with?
Well, I help adults about 30, 40, 50, and beyond, and I help them with, and not just like mental health. We do like losing body fat, or some people want to gain weight. Some people are losing muscle, like ladies who have menopause are losing muscle, and we're trying to fight that by gaining some muscle. And we're helping adults just have corrective exercises and being able to move their body the way they should as they age.
So, so what's your background? What kind of what's your background?
Well, I have a wide variety of things I used to do. I was a teacher. Right now, I'm a nutrition coach and a personal trainer.
So where did you teach?
I taught at ESPN Kids Center in Bristol, actually.
Oh, did you really? Yeah,
I did.
All right. So where did you go to school?
And I went to school in New Haven, and I'm known in New Haven for playing for Hill House, running back. And I was a captain, and then we won the championship when I played. So.
And so you have a teaching degree?
Yeah, no, I have a
teaching certificate.
I have a bachelor's.
A bachelor's?
No, not a bachelor's. I mean
associates. Associates okay,
degree, yes,
so you taught over at ESPN. You taught
yes.
Young kids.
Yes, young kids. Yes.
And then you got interested in health and fitness.
Yes, but I was always interested in health and fitness because as soon as I got out of high school, I went into bodybuilding, and I'm also a 2-time bodybuilding champion. So that's what got me into health and fitness and wellness.
All right. So how do you become a bodybuilding champion?
By being disciplined every single day, having a routine, having a strong mindset, and working out and eating correctly every single day.
Yeah. So successful high school football player?
Yes.
A successful bodybuilder?
Yes.
And now you've been at this business for 5 years. And would you consider yourself to be successful now?
Yes, I'm successful in my business. And I wouldn't even just say through money. I'm successful in life in general through my divine spirit every day.
Okay.
And everybody should feel that way too.
So make that distinction. Money, there's money, success, and then there's other kinds of success.
Yeah, it depends. Everybody looks at success differently. But I think there's one way you should look at success, honestly.
Which is
if you're a kind person and you're happy. That's success. I'm successful when I'm happy and I'm kind to others.
Okay. Yeah. So here in where are you located in Bristol?
I'm located. I'm like a trainer who travels. I would consider myself like a travel trainer or an online coach.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can do things on Zoom. You can do.
I could do Zoom. I can do online programming, which is just giving you workouts to do for the month or 3 months or 6 months.
Yep.
I can provide nutrition training, which nutrition coaching. Yeah. Which is talking to people, listening to them, and seeing where they struggle at with their food. And I think food is really a habit. So it's about habit building for me.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is, I think this is pretty interesting that you're a nutritionist.
Yes.
So you went from the teaching. Oh, okay. I'm learning more information here all the time. So you and Aaron have a special project that you're going to air every week.
Yes, we are. Yeah, and that's going to be another part of my wide variety of things that I do. I'm going to be playing semi-pro football, and we're going to take it to the next level, and I'm going to get to the UFL this year.
The UFL.
Yeah.
And that's the new summertime?
Yeah, it's like the new
football?
spring summer league.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy. So there's so many things I have that are rattling around in my head right now.
know.
All right. So let's go back to your business model right now. So
Yes,
you
sir.
so
Online
how do
coaching.
people how do people find you? I mean,
Instagram.
It's Instagram.
Yes,
so
sir.
you are a social media.
Yes.
Would you consider yourself an influencer?
Yes. I consider myself influencer without Instagram. I influence people.
Okay, I get it. I like that. I like the spirit. I like that. And so, how many Instagram followers do you have?
Right now?
Yeah,
1,000.
you have 1,000.
But in
Yeah.
the last 30 days, I had over 100,000 views to my page. So
No
my
kidding.
page is really doing good right now.
So, if people were going to look at your page right now, what would you want them to look for first?
Fitness tips.
Fitness tips.
Let's get you in shape. Let's get your mind correct.
Yeah.
Let's get you going.
Yeah. Okay. And what's your handle?
It's at Coach Dave 42. And that's my football number.
All right, we'll get back to football.
Yes,
Okay,
okay,
let's
I
talk
love
more
football.
I know. Yeah, football, and you're going to go back to football. How much do you weigh?
135.
135.
Around there.
What gives you this idea that you're going to, at 135, make it back to the USL?
Because nobody can tackle me. And I'm in athletic tip-top shape right now.
What's your position?
Running back.
You're running back.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what kind of running back? I mean, what are the different terms?
The best one.
Yeah, the best one. So you're B1, best one. Yeah.
D1,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Right. That's terrific.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about nutrition. What do you talk about food, and so yes, how do you, when you're talking to your clients, what are some of the things you kind of try to educate them about food, and how does a nutritionist approach food different than a regular person?
Well, to answer your first question, I would say I try to teach them about protein first,
Mm-hmm.
about how you can adequately put your protein in your diet, and then that can equal to other things, such as losing body fat. The more protein you eat, the more muscle you build. The more muscle you build, the more body fat you burn. So if this is a weight loss client, I just gave them a recipe right there.
So how is that different than, are you proposing the keto diet?
No, but I don't propose any type of diet
Yeah.
because I don't even believe in the word diet because of the first 3 letters.
Mm-hmm.
I want to stay away from that. We're not going to give you something that you're not going to be able to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
I want to teach people how to maintain their diets or their nutrition, I would rather say, throughout their whole life.
Okay.
And that's teaching you how to eat and when to eat it. Yeah, go ahead. You can ask the question. Yep.
Well, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's kind of fun because I'm thinking about the French have a habit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe they have a little bit of chocolate every day,
Right.
but they wait to the end of the day as kind of a treat. Would you recommend that?
But I wouldn't recommend doing something all the time where you're waiting to the end of the day to eat a treat.
Yeah.
So let's not have a bad habit where we're getting a treat every time at the end of your day.
Yeah.
Like make a treat something you just think of one day and you do it.
Yeah.
Not a habit where it's every day.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's kind of like a freewheeling, but basic principles.
Yeah, basic principles, because eating should be basic because we should be eating the right way anyways.
So what's right?
McDonald's isn't correct.
Right.
A piece of chicken, some a carb, and then a vegetable, that's correct. I'm just teaching people how to eat correct.
So my mom, when she made a meal, she just did it by colors.
Mm-hmm.
You had something. It was like a dark, a brown, a green, and a yellow or something like that.
Yes.
And so that was your protein,
Mm-hmm.
your carbs,
Yes.
and I don't know, more carbs. I don't know how that worked out.
And your
But-
vegetable, yeah,
and
which
your,
is a
and your
carb, yeah.
vegetable, which is a carb.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
So that was kind of, every plate had to have that. on
Mhm.
it, all right. So is that something that?
Yeah, but you don't know
and it-
how much.
Yeah.
It depends on your goal. It depends on how much you
Yeah.
weigh. And then you need to know how much you need to eat for that meal.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I come in, where I'm going to tell you, okay, you weigh this, so you need to eat this much protein for that meal,
Yeah.
this many carbs for that meal. Just helping.
So protein. So protein
Mhm.
is the big thing right now, and you see things back and forth. You know, people are
Disgusting.
big on. They're on, protein bars,
Right.
and
Protein cereal.
protein drinks. And,
Everything
unless you
protein.
have a health issue, I don't think maybe you should be drinking protein drinks.
I don't think you should have anything other than protein except for the protein that God made anyway. What's that?
Yeah. So-
Chicken,
Yeah. So chicken. Yeah. Chicken. It's
Beef.
yeah. Right.
fish.
And tell me, is there a limit on how much the body can absorb in protein at
Yes,
one
it-
particular time? So
Yeah,
that
there
if
is a
you're
point.
taking all these high protein things, they're
Right.
really are you end up damaging your body?
Right, and that's why the right amount matters. You're not trying to overeat a high protein,
Yeah.
and you are turning into these negative things what protein can do for you also. So it's all about balance.
Yeah.
Life is about balance in general, so you have to balance your meals.
So I guess there's a connection between, nutrition and mental health.
There is, though. I was just thinking
All right,
about that
so
actually
what
last
would
night.
you say? Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Whitney just now.
Yeah. But
we
I
were
would
talking
say
about-
really, I was really thinking about this last night because I didn't know I was going to come here and see you today, Dave. But nutrition and mental health go hand in hand because when you're eating bad, say you're eating a lot of sugar, that sugar is damaging your brain.
Yeah.
So you're going to be prone to think more negative or be slower or sluggish. Instead, if you had a healthy sugar like an orange or an apple, now you're going to give yourself energy through eating. So it can damage your health. If you're going to eat bad and then you're negative, they go hand in hand.
So tell me about, so you're saying a processed sugar as opposed to a natural sugar.
Yeah, but not, go ahead. Yes. Let me
And
hear what else.
so you said it's going to be damaging your brain.
Yeah.
So how just get into some of the science of that. How does that damage your brain?
Like sugar slows down your brain. It literally slows down your brain.
Okay.
So you're going to have a lot of sugar. Say you eat a bag of gummy worms.
Yeah.
Your brain is on overload trying to work, and your body is also trying to digest it.
So it's slowing down your brain because your body is working to digest that.
Yes, absolutely.
That sugar.
Yes, absolutely.
And
But also
especially
it does mess with your brain. Like,
Yeah.
like sugar messes with brain health.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, good. So tell me a little bit about this project you have going with Aaron.
Yeah, this project with Aaron is going to be huge.
So what is it? I mean, what
It's
do
gonna
people
be-
look forward to?
They're going to see me running the ball. They're going to see discipline. They're going to see just a journey of somebody who knows how to work hard to get to their goals and to the next level where they're dreaming to.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to see. You're going to be inspired by what I can create.
So is Aaron going to coach you?
No.
He's gonna watch you put yourself through a series of exercises.
He's going to watch me do exercise, but he's also going to watch me in the people, the fans, not just Aaron.
Yeah.
The fans are going to watch us go through this journey of me playing these games, from me training, from me playing the games to me in the UFL.
Yeah.
Saying, Dave, look where I'm at.
Okay, so where
We're here.
So what are your deadlines? What do you have to be able to qualify for the US?
I have to go to tryouts in the fall.
It's in the fall.
Yeah.
So this will be next spring that you'll be starting.
I would start. Yes, sir.
You would start.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And do you have any particular team that you're eyeing? No, you're just going to go to training camp.
Oh, yes.
And you're going to wait for people to say, this is the guy we want.
They're going to say that. Yes.
All right. Well, that's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying. You're waiting for them to say it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
They'll be like, wow, where was he?
All right. So are you into manifesting? You
Yeah,
understand
absolutely.
that term? And
Yes,
and
I can be into that.
yeah.
Yeah, but I also just know my own powers and what's in my body and who I am as a person.
So tell me about your high school football career.
Yeah, it was
All right. It was at Hill House.
Yes.
What year did you graduate?
2017.
2017. So this is very recent.
Yeah.
Right. So I am at a total blank.
Mm-hmm.
I've not followed high school football in ages,
Right.
except for maybe some local sport here.
Mm-hmm.
So as part of your high school career, what were some of your awards? What were some of your accomplishments?
Yes. Well, for 3 years, over 1,000 yards rushing,
Mhm.
over 10 plus touchdowns every season. Captain senior year. In that senior year, we brought them to the championship, and we only lost one game. And I also ran track, and I'm a champion in track also. So those are like my athlete accolades for high school.
Accolades for high school.
Yeah, even a basketball championship too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And that was in 2017
Yeah.
for Hill House. Yeah. How big is Hill House? How many students in Hill House nowadays?
Graduate with maybe almost 1,000.
Yeah.
700.
It's just huge, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're a New Haven native.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about New Haven.
And what aspect?
Any aspect, anything you want to share about New Haven, you think is a
The school I went to was actually amazing. Like I didn't actually attend Hill House. I played for Hill House, but the school Metropolitan Business Academy
Yeah.
that I attended was an amazing school. It has different avenues, just like a college would, that teaches you in high school to choose what you want to learn and learn it from there. And I
Mhm.
studied law in high school as well. So I taught me a lot about law.
Have you used any of those skills?
I tried to. Yeah, I tried to become a Bristol police officer, actually.
Did you really?
Yeah, actually.
No
yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
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 Wow. That's terrific. Well, with your personality, that's great.
I would have been an amazing officer too.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
Yeah.
So do you come from a large family?
Yes, actually I do. Yeah, I would say so.
How
yeah.
many people? How many?
I grew up with four,
Four?
3 other siblings. Yeah.
Yeah, I had 5. We were all boys. I don't know.
Oh yeah, basically
5
mine
boys,
still had one sister.
yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of thinking about where we go from here.
Yeah.
So you've got this project with Aaron. When can people start? When can people plan on seeing some of the?
I would say
first
this
lifts?
week or next week. You'll see
Yeah.
me on the field in a football game.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, let me flip this thing around too. Um, now, what is it? How long have you been in Bristol?
me?
Yeah.
5 years. My family lived there for 5 years. Yeah.
And here in Bristol.
Yeah, and they also opened a business in Bristol as well too.
Who's that?
That's Urban Studios.
Urban Studios.
Yeah, photography studio in Bristol.
Really?
Yeah, my
Now-
mother is on the board.
Or of
The board of Bristol.
Bristol. What's your mom's
what
name?
is it? Laquita Gonzalez.
Laquita Gonzalez.
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
She's on the board. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly which board she's sitting on though to tell
Yeah.
you, which I did.
Yeah. So is her studio over on Ray Street?
Is Ray Street the same street as the police department?
It's
What's that? It's on the same street as the police
that
department.
same that's North Main Street.
Yep, that one. Yep.
Yeah.
North Main Street. Yep. It's in
Oh.
that big building, big brick building right
Yep.
next to McDonald's, diagonal.
Yeah, right across from McDonald's. That's
Yeah, we do
that's
photography,
just-
videography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So and does she runs her own business
Her and her husband. Yeah.
and her husband?
Mhm.
Okay. Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm learning something new every day.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were around. I didn't know your mom was here. And so I guess where we go from here is we're going to be tracking your path to the UFL.
Yeah. It's gonna be
UFL.
amazing.
It's going to be amazing. All right.
Yes, it
well,
will be.
I think that's terrific.
Thank
I
you,
mean, I'm
yeah.
excited about it. You're
Good.
very excited.
Yeah.
You are really, yes, a positive personality
Yeah.
and a generally good spirit. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I
So
appreciate
I'm
that.
excited about that.
Yeah.
And so I think from here I think we're going to be seeing more of you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here.
I think that's and so I think it's great that you came on. It's
Yeah,
a
I'm
surprise to
thankful.
me. I'm sure people are surprised that I'm surprised. But it's what makes local TV and
Absolutely.
local news local news. So to our viewers, this is David Harris,
Yes.
and your business again is
Top 1%
Top
trading.
1% Trading.
And you can find me at Coach Dave 42 on Instagram.
Great, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, it's great meeting you.
Yeah, you as well, Dave.
I'm,
Yes.
I'm excited, and I offer you the best of luck.
Thank you. I'll take it.
That's right. Yeah, some people can't actually accept that, but
I know, right?
Yeah. Might as well
You're right.
embrace it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is Dave Fortier, and we're winding up our special edition of Talking Bristol.